Activision, Blizzard, Netease, Wizards of the Coast, and Hasbro. What does it all have to do in common?
Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Have you ever looked up a topic, a hot topic going through the course of today, and you have to ask yourself, what did I just fall into? How much of a rabbit hole did I dive down to? Do I need to put on a tinfoil hat because something is not right in the world of gaming? Blizzard just got completely owned by Netease in China over their contract negotiations that have fallen through. Now, what does this have to do with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro? I will get into that because there is some stuff here that is very interesting how this is happening, all to coincide with everything with the Hasbro fiasco over Dungeons and Dragons. Netease, they were the subcontractor or the server uploader for the Blizzard China headquarters. They're the ones that were allowing them to operate within China. Now, when you have a game license, it's got to be provided to you by the government in China for you to operate that license, or even in a lot of businesses, they work very differently there because they control things very, very much so. And because of this, negotiations go very south very quickly. And Blizzard, you know, they've always bent the knee to the Chinese censorship that we have seen here in the West of video games. At one point, they took skeletons out of World of Warcraft because of it. There's a long history of this stuff. Also, on that note, Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast they have released things in the past in China, but they've also had other types of cards that get censored in the long run, and there is a good reason for that. And we're going to get into all of this because there is a giant story here, I think, of something that I never expected to come across. Now, Cataclysm for World of Warcraft was one of my more fonder memories of playing World of Warcraft. It was the time where I had a mage that was considered one of the top on the server I was on. We were raiding at least twice a week, and I was putting out DPS like nobody's business. It was a very fun time for World of Warcraft. Netease was the developer that was in China, which Blizzard had partnered with. In order to play a lot of your games there, you have to be partnered with a China-based company in order to operate in China. Netease, this is off Wowhead. Today, Blizzard China published Blizzard on the China region player community update note. Through its official Weibo, some of the news directly points to Netease, and because of the content, triggered a lot of market and media criticism. We would like to explain the following. First off, Netease refused the 6-month service extension proposed by Blizzard explanation. Now, Blizzard is in the process of being purchased by Microsoft, and Netease has a history of not wanting to work with Microsoft. So there is no surprise there. Blizzard putting in a 6-month lease on the license, however, is very odd. In order to operate in China, like I said, you need to have feet on the ground. You need to have a company that's willing to work with you. And there's not many people that you're going to work with in China, especially when they have to approve it through their government. So for Blizzard to put in a 6-month lease and say, we're going to shop around and find someone else, it's not surprising the company would say, no, this isn't how this works here. If you're going to do that, we're going to destroy you. And you can see in the video there at the beginning, they started taking down the statue. They completely demolished the Blizzard headquarters in about a day with something like 100 workers. Completely went to town on this thing. And it's not even the 24th when Blizzard said that they're enacting this. So all the Blizzard players in China, you're left in the dark. It's not going to happen. Now, Netease, my understanding, are the ones that are creating Diablo Immortal, the mobile app, so we may see something down the line. I would assume that they have some sort of agreement on that side, but I don't think it's going to last very long. Now, how does this tie in with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro? I'm going to get into that a little bit later because there's something I came across that was very strange to me ultimately. And this is that part of the video. If I don't ask you, you guys won't do it. Please do me the favor, like, subscribe, share this out with your friends, do all that fun stuff. And if you want to help support the channel, the links to that is down below. Now on with the rest of the video. In our view, Blizzard's proposal, including today's surprise announcement, is brash, unseemingly, and commercially illogical. The reason why they're saying commercially illogical, because there's no one else to really work with in China. You have Tencent, you have Netease. Its overconfidence does not take into account where players and Netease have been placed by this kind of demand everything. Riding a mule or a donkey while looking for a horse, and divorce, but still trying to live together behavior. So it's the whole idea of you're on your own donkey, you're looking for a horse, you're looking for that steed, but we're going to get divorced down the line. We're no longer going to be partners down the line. No, how about I just kill your mule? Like that's what Netease said. No, you're going to do that, we're out. We're done. You're not working with us, we're not going to continue working with you. Secondly, the media reports of Netease wanting to control the IP statement. Now, there's a little bit more there. It seems that Netease, after this, have a trailer that was launched on a game that looks very similar to WoW. Your IP and run with it anyway, so it looks like they've already got it covered. It looks like they've had this in development for a long time. Third, some tips about the progress achievements of World of Warcraft game players. For Blizzard China, in the statement mentioned about tomorrow, Beijing being January 18th, launch a World of Warcraft game progress and archive feature. We are obliged to remind all players this feature by Blizzard is unilaterally proposed and developed online without Netease side testing. There may be unknown security risks if this feature causes loss of virtual property, inability to play. Blizzard shall bear full responsibility. Well, they're stateside and you're China on the China side, so we'll have to wait to see where this goes. This statement, I'll link it down below. It's an up and down roller coaster of a statement. Now, where does this fall with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro? Well, it seems Netease itself has purchased a company that's working alongside with Wizards of the Coast. This is a very interesting sort of place where we find ourselves at this point. Wizards of the Coast, back in 2020, they had leased out MTG Arena to a Vancouver-based development company called Skybox Labs, and they were the ones that took over the MTG Arena development from 2020 thereon. Netease, only a couple weeks ago on the 7th of January, bought out this company. So looking into the story, I was like, what's going on here? Something else has happened here. So BC video game company acquired by Chinese tech giant Netease. BC video game company that has offices in Metro Vancouver and Victoria have been purchased by a Chinese tech company, Netease Games. Actually, this was on the 6th, not the 7th. Skybox Labs, which has 2 offices in Burnaby, BC, one in Victoria, has worked with major game publishers, including Electronic Arts, Xbox Game Studios, and Wizards of the Coast. This lets me put on my tinfoil hat just a little bit. We got EA, we've got Xbox or Microsoft, and Wizards of the Coast in the mix of all of this stuff with Netease, Activision Blizzard, and once again, Microsoft. So there is moving pieces, as I bump my mic, there's moving pieces on the board right now, and this is one of them that I have to sit there and go, I think it's time to pay attention to this because it's going to mean something else going on entirely. With what's happening with the debacle of Hasbro and the D&D and the OGL, the open game license fiasco with Hasbro trying to push that out there, their stock plummeting. I made a video recently saying, is Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro ready to sell themselves? Is this where we're headed? Netease is a $60 billion company. They have more than enough money to pick up the brand. Now, Netease, they are a game developer and publisher, and I know they don't really generally go into the toys, but Hasbro started in toys and now going the other way into gaming. Recently, Hasbro actually canceled 5 projects, which I think one of which was with Netease over a Transformers Battle Royale style game. I have to say, when I made that other video on is Hasbro going to sell or Wizards of the Coast going to sell, I was being satirical. I was being very out there and just throwing everything at the wall like the spaghetti monster that we all know and love. But I gotta say, this is a little too close. We had Activision Blizzard end up having their stocks tank very quickly with Microsoft then swooping in and picking them up. And now we're seeing something similar happen with Hasbro over the debacle of the OGL. Hopefully this isn't a sign that they are going to be bought out, because if they do get bought out, we're going to see a big change, I think, to everything. We're going to see a much more ruthless company come out of the ground. Anyway, with Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, keep the pressure up. Keep on them over the OGL. The Blizzard debacle is absolutely hilarious with Netease for bending the knee to China. I got to say, that's the bed you guys rode in on. Don't expect it to come back and help you along your way. Anyway, guys, I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix Cineshadow signing off here. Hope you like the comedy in this one. I hope I kept you entertained. And if I did, like and subscribe. You must, because you made it to the end. Thank you. Have a great day.